XLE stock. It is the energy sector ETF. It's one of the ones that I follow on a regular basis. I have actually all 11 sectors broken down, the major iShares ETFs for each sector, plus, of course, QQQ and SPY stock. XLE stock, I've been following this for some time. A lot of the companies, individually companies inside XLE stock, are significantly undervalued. The rationale is simply this. I took the future earnings per share, added those up over the next 4 quarters, divide that under the current price, and the yield overall, it's worth looking into. It's definitely outperforming on a yield basis the broader stock market, SPY stock. But that doesn't necessarily mean that XLE stock will move higher. How do I approach this? I don't believe that XLE stock is going to be moving much lower. Therefore, I step in and I sell puts, out of money puts, maybe 1 to 2 weeks out, and I bring in that premium, let it expire worthless. Let's jump in and I'll show you what I'm looking at. If you're just finding my channel for the first time, this is a brand new channel. It is growing rapidly. Thanks so much to all the followers that are logging into the channel. I'm an economist and a value investor. First and foremost, I break down the economy and I ask the question, what's the consumer doing? How is this pushing the stock market? And variables like that. The next thing I am is a value investor. But I'm also fairly seasoned with, as mildly putting it, stock options. It's my weapon of choice. And in this case, we are looking at XLE stock. This is the breakdown of the sector, the energy sector for XLE, of course, is iShares. As you can see, these are all, I think there's 30 here. I don't want to count that real quick. But this is a screenshot. This isn't my actual spreadsheet. Nonetheless, you can see price. That is one share price. And then I took the forward earnings per share projections, added them up, took that total, divided over top of the entire price. This gives yield. So if you take the entire S&P 500, the S&P 500 is pushing about 4% in total yield. XLE stock, double that. But again, and I've mentioned this in the intro, that doesn't necessarily mean that XLE stock is going to move higher. But let's take a look at XLE stock versus the S&P 500. And as you can see, XLE stock itself kind of moving sideways for the entire 2023, whereas the S&P 500 has pushed a little bit higher. These are energy. And when you overlay energy prices, and I've got the charts, I'll show you this, what's happening is because of the increase in bond yields, that is putting pressure on the consumer, and we're seeing supplies increase. But I think we've probably seen the bottom in supply concerns. Here is XLE stock versus the U.S. oil price. This is WTI spot. All right, this is U.S. oil spot prices. And as you can see, U.S. oil spot has trickled lower. My thinking is this is the bottom. Therefore, sure, we might see maybe a move -5.5%, maybe -6% on XLE stock year to date. Last year, 2023, of course. But I don't think we're going to see prices moving too much further, especially if the Federal Reserve has the ability to keep interest rates where they are for some time. OPEC, that's sort of the big asterisk. At some point, OPEC is going to go ahead and start cutting production. Once they do that, this elevates price somewhat. Now, again, I went to the gas station yesterday. I've got a classic Land Rover, a 1998 Land Rover. It drinks. So $2.99, I was a little surprised because we were just paying a little less than that, $2.65, just 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. And as you can see, price is kind of pushing lower in oil. So my thinking is we've probably seen a bottom in oil prices, and that the profits that these companies are bringing in, they're still there. These are forward projections that I showed you earlier. And until we get big adjustments downward, that's still 9.9% yield. Here, WTI crude oil again, moving forward. This is RBOB symbol. This is gasoline futures. Gas is, again, towards the bottom. OPEC will step in. And what they're going to end up doing is cutting supply. This will restrict supply with demand moving back upward. Should we get unemployment softening like it is, then price will move back upward. Now, that's sort of a key variable. We're looking at non-farm payrolls hitting tomorrow morning. What happens with them? Again, we'll find that out tomorrow morning. But my thinking is that the market itself is probably going to sell off a little bit because non-farm payrolls probably not going to be very robust too much on unemployment, but at the same time, not too low either. And the 10-year yield pushed above 4% again today. Looks like it wants to go higher and stay there. This will affect the U.S. economy overall and consumers, but we're still going to be able to function with a 10-year yield above 4%. So maybe we see a consistent, continuing claims, unemployment insurance claims staying flatline, but not big numbers moving higher, which means demand won't drop too much. Supply will, of course, will be restricted by OPEC. So my move to sell these puts underneath the market on XLE stock, I expect these options to expire worthless. One final chart for you, natural gas, again, another indicator here. We're probably at the bottom. Given that, my strategy, I don't know that necessarily that XLE stock will move necessarily higher, but I definitely don't see it moving much lower. Therefore, I step in 1-2 weeks out, I'll sell puts. And all I'm ever looking to do is just get a base hit, money ball. I'm never looking for the home runs. This is something that consistently, week after week, month after month, year after year, if you keep hitting those base hits, money ball, in the end, your account grows versus trying to swing for the fences. That for me has been my strategy. That's why I'm stepping in on XLE and selling those puts, those stock options out of the money, let them expire worthless, and I'll bring that premium in. If you're looking for this kind of content where I break down the economy and show how it affects any particular one stock, make sure to hit that like and follow button. We'll see you in the next video.